Hello everybody and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. My name is Nootmad and today I'll be taking you guys through another one of my personal favorite builds, my Bangerang chucking build. That's right, using the Bangerang. As you can see in the clip that I showed at the start of this video, this build kicks ass to say the least. It does a ton of damage, lots of explosions, and it's one of my personal favorite builds. I've been using it for quite some time, and recently I thought it best, and you guys have also seen it. So I decided to make a build video about it, because, you know, sure it is great to have all these meta builds, SAC and splash based builds that are out on YouTube right now, but I thought it'd be fun to be a bit creative and make a build that's a lot of fun to use, but also really effective, so you don't really feel bad for having fun. Not only are you having fun, but you're also kicking ass. So, this build involves the Bangerang, which is one of my personal favorite guns, and what it basically does is, on reload, it just spits out a ton of bullets, bounces around the map, and also explodes in a nice little pop, just like that. So, we'll start from the top here. As it is a TDO gun, the reloads count as grenades. Because it counts as grenades, it enables us to do a host of different things. So, one of the points to this build is that we have pulled a holy pin. What this does is let grenades crit. Now, as we mentioned in one of my previous videos where I discussed class mods, grenades critting can proc minesweeper nades. And now I did also go over how the minesweeper nades are calculated damage wise, and it scales very well with damage. Because we're buffing the hell out of the Bangerang potential damage, the potential micronades that can spawn from it can deal a ton of damage and sometimes just be deleting enemies from existence very, very quickly. So, another thing to note is that when you do reload the Bangerang, each of those bullets that it spits out can crit, as long as it hits a crit spot obviously, and because it can do that, it can also proc minesweeper nades. So at the end of the day, you have many chances of proccing minesweeper nades, and we all know how stupid minesweeper chains can be in terms of the amount of damage it can spit out. So, that's basically the sort of core focus of this build and what keeps this build running the way it does. So now we're going to go over the gear in a bit more detail. So, obviously we have the Bangerang with the consecutive hits anoint. Now, why did they pick this anoint over, let's say, the Splash anoint or the 390 anoint? Since its recent fix, the 390 anoint isn't as consistent as it used to be. It was very overpowered and worked on basically every gun with that anoint, but now it counts the entire health bar instead of just the bottom health bar, so it doesn't work as well with a lot of guns, and the Bangerang was unfortunately one of them. Why I didn't use the Splash anoint? Well, it's because I don't want to just spam Iron Bear a lot, to be frank with you, and I'm sure a lot of you guys who play modes also realize getting in and out of Iron Bear excessively tends to get very annoying, and it sort of ruins the flow of any fast-paced build, so that's why I avoided that anoint. Not saying you can't use that anoint, obviously if you are using it you'll be doing a bunch of damage with that as well, but personally I prefer to use the consecutive hits anoint. Now, why do I do that? Because it's simple. These bullets that spit out can hit enemies, and they hit enemies can proc and maintain the consecutive hits anoint. So just like that, we are maintaining a high amount of damage bonuses, and that's why we're using it. The recommended elements I suggest you guys have is Radiation, Corrosive, and Shock. Shock because some enemies, like in the Guardian takedown and the Guardians specifically, have a lot of shield, so being able to have a direct element that can strip those shields quickly is pretty useful. And for Corrosive, if an enemy has a very big armor bar. Having a crazy weapon helps, and radiation is what I would use all purpose. I used this in the Slaughter Shaft gameplay of Mayhem 10 that I showed at the start of this video, and even though the enemies were armored, and radiation has a penalty against armor, you can see the Bangerang does not give a damn, and it still destroyed them anyway. So, those are the 3 guns that I would use, and now you may have noticed this little guy here, the Chad. Now, I use this Chad for this build, in combination with Forge, which is the green tree capstone, to regenerate my pistol ammo, because obviously we're spamming a lot and we're burning through our ammo. Being able to have a pistol that can regenerate our ammo very quickly is very synergistic and just fuels the playstyle. Now, why would I use the Chad over another CFE pistol? The Chad has the 999 magazine size, and that's basically the shots to break, as you can see on the item card. If I had another CFE pistol, for example, the shots to break might be lower. But the Chad is not like that, and because of that, as you can see right now, I only have 77 bullets in my reserve right now. Plus the swap to the Chad, you can see how quickly the ammo is regenerating. And if I was hitting crits as well on enemies, I'd be getting the 2-hour and redistribution bonus, and my ammo will be regenerating even faster. And just like that, I've got a bunch of ammo in my Bangerang again, and I can go back and start tossing. So, that's why I used the Chad for that. It is a one-time quest reward during the story. You get it from when you're on Agent 6, and there's a side quest where you have to send a guy into space basically because he is an adrenaline junkie. You get this pistol as a reward from that. So if you for some reason threw it out, which I don't blame you, it's a very innocuous pistol, it doesn't actually do much damage, so obviously not everyone would still have a hold on to it during their story progress, but I will be putting my save file in the description of this video for you guys, just so you can grab this and the rest of the gear as well. So, that's why we have the Chad equipped, and that's how this build sort of works as well. Now, those are the guns out of the way, now we can move on to the gear. For the shield, you realistically, any shield you want, transformer shields, stopgaps, recharges, anything like that. However, I like the Old God because it does give us an elemental boost, and synergizes very well with a radiation Bangerang. Now, you don't need it, like I said, but I just want to maximize the amount of damage I can do, and that's why I picked the radiation Old God. As for the Nootmad shield, it doesn't matter. Like I said, we're not going to be using Iron Bear too much, so you can really have whatever you want. But once again, if you do use and plan to use Iron Bear a lot, I would pick a different element as opposed to the guns that you mainly be using. So I'll be using my radiation Bangerang most of the time. So the bonus element should be something else, and that's why I have corrosive on here. The grenade, as is standard with most of my builds, I'm using the Movtacular Hex in the radiation variant, because being able to spread radiation procs to all enemies in a nearby area is very nice, and is that how I'm able to create this blood explosion like chains, where enemies just explode one after another, just dealing really big damage. So once again, the on-grenade throw annoyant helps a lot, because it buffs weapon and grenade damage conveniently. DDO chucks counters grenades, so simultaneously we are buffing weapon and the TDO reloads as well. Now, as for the Relic, we have the Snowdrift Victory Rush. Snowdrift because I like the mobility. Can also use an Atom Bomb Victory Rush. This is what I would use normally, but I do like to be able to slide around very quickly, so that's why I use Snowdrift. Either or works, as long as it's a Victory Rush. I did go over this briefly in my class mod review video, just about how you don't want too much gun damage stacked on, and that's why we're not using the Pearl, for example. Because we already have the consecutive hits annoyant, so we want to use something else, and that's why we have the Victory Rush equipped. The roles we would want for this relic are those that would buff our grenade damage and our area effect damage, so that's why I have that on my relics. So yeah, that's the relic I'm using. As for the class mod, once again, Minesweeper, nothing special. Torque cross promotion and redistribution boosts are very useful for splash damage, ammo regeneration, and health regeneration. And Minesweeper just works incredibly well with this for the reasons I explained previously. And the roles we have on this class mod are those that will buff our weapons once again. So yeah, that's why we have splash damage, weapon damage, and grenade damage. So that's the gear out of the way. Now we can move on to skills. So because this is a TDO build, pretty standard, we'll be using blue tree and green tree with just a little bit of red tree sprinkled in. So obviously, because it's a TDO gun and we're spamming the reloads, able to maximize the magazine size to boost the damage off those reloads is very, very important. That's why I picked up Match Set and Iron Bank. We picked up Scrappy because we'll be moving a lot, and so being able to do a little bit more weapon damage and have that weapon swap speed is incredibly useful, just for the sheer utility. Being able to swap between the Bangerangs and the Chad really quickly does cut down a lot of downtime in that sense, and that's how we're able to keep the flow of this build. We also have redistribution, ammo regen, and health regeneration on crits. There is not to pick it up, and Minesweeper boosts it by another point, so we get 10% ammo regen and 5% health regen. Pick the Ebbins, secondary boost, and also mostly picked to move down the tree. I do tend to avoid Cloud of Lead for any TDO based builds, because I don't like the fact that we get those free shot bonuses. It does get pretty annoying, especially when you're reloading constantly. So that's why I avoided that. Scorching RPMs boost fire rate, critical hit damage, and iron bear damage. And as we all know, iron bear damage does buff Short Fuse, which is another skill we picked up in Demolition Woman, but I'll get to that shortly. So yeah, that's why we maxed up Scorching RPMs. And Forge works with the ammo regen that we have on the Chad, so that's why I picked it up. Nothing special there. Now, this blue tree would look very familiar to you. It was pretty much the exact same skill tree setup that I used in my Sack Moze build previously last week. And so those skills are pretty much the same, nothing too special. Grizzled helps us get Iron Bear back faster. Skagdan scales very poorly in terms of its damage, that's why we didn't put more than 1 point into it. Means of Destruction, ammo regen on Splash, Dork's Cross Promotion, more splash damage. Then Steel Bear, buff Short Fuse damage. Water Bear, being able to use him to slag and spread more radiation procs is very useful. Pull the Holy Pin, I already explained why we picked the skill up. Vampire, health regeneration on grenade hits, because those TDO relays count as grenade hits, we're doing health regeneration just out of that. For the last, very useful utility skill, and once again you just push down further into the tree, and Short Fuse. Special thing about Short Fuse with the Bangerang is that each of those bullets that shoot out can hit an enemy and proc Short Fuse, which just means a lot more damage than we would usually be able to do. And another reason why I prefer to use the Bangerang over the Gunnerang that I initially used in like version 1.0 of this build. And so yeah, I just found the Bangerang works a lot nicer with this skill setup. And because we're spamming reloads, Selfless Vengeance is a very useless skill to have. Boosts our instant damage, and that's why we picked it up. So yeah, that's it for the skills and build, essentially. I'm having a lot of fun with this build, and I'm sure you guys will too. I'll be putting the save file in the description below as well for you guys, just so you can grab whatever things you're missing if you're on PC. Aside from that, thank you guys so much for watching. I just want to once again just say how supportive you guys have been over all the videos that I've been posting so far, and I'm so glad you guys are getting a lot of information out of it. Makes me happy that the things I'm putting out is actually useful and being well received by you guys. But yeah, aside from that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!